I made a liminal horror game inspired by Exit 8. The only challenge is I have 5 days to make it. For those who don't know, the whole premise of the game is that you're stuck in a loop and you have to get out of it by avoiding anomalies. And if you don't know what an anomaly is, then you're screwed. But seriously, anomalies can occur when you go through the loop, and some are more obvious than others. So, to be able to find these anomalies, you have to observe your surroundings for anything that looks out of the ordinary. If you spot an anomaly, you have to go back. If there are no anomalies, you keep going forward until you reach Exit 8. Now, 2 things which attracted me to this game was A, the visuals and how you feel immersed, and B, the loop, which is perfect and seamless. So, I will try and recreate B to the best of my ability, and hope that will make up for the lack of A. To aid me with the visuals, I'm using Unreal Engine 5. Not because it's the only language I know. Now, to think of a name. Perfect. So, in day 1, I started with the loop. So I made a test level, which had 2 collision boxes, which would just teleport the player to the other one. This was very effective and did create the seamless effect I was looking for, so I left it for the time being and moved to the level design. I knew I wanted to make a liminal environment similar to Exit 8 and the background, as this creates a sense of uneasiness which is crucial in game design. I finally decided on a cinema and blocked out the general shape I wanted and implemented the loop. You may also be able to see that when I sometimes teleport that there is a flicker. This ruined the smoothness and the seamlessness I was wanting, and I couldn't find a solution at the time, so I left it. I then looked at different cinema layouts and designs and decided to take inspiration from these images. I then made some models like the posters, doors and lights and added colours to them to give a general idea of the cinema, and that's where I ended day 1. In day 2, I decided to finish the level design by adding new textures for the models. I also added some of the biggest films of the last couple of years into the posters and added some post-processing effects like bloom to make the game more realistic. The levels went from this, to this, to this, and I'm quite pleased with the result. However, I did have to spend the rest of day 2 fixing the loop system, as it didn't work with a non-symmetrical hallway, so I fixed it by adding another hallway on top and rotating it 180 degrees. I managed to fix the flickering bug as well by changing the occlusion settings, and this fixed the seamless loop which I wanted. In day 3, it was very clear that our player character wasn't very realistic, so I added head bob and also footsteps, which instantly improved the emotion of the game. This was the before, and this is the after. A huge difference if you ask me. But we are missing something very important. See, in Exit 8, you always had someone walking in the opposite way to you, so I added my own guy called Leonard. Don't ask why he's called that though. He just is. In day 4, the game looked very good, but lacked any viable game loop, and instead was just a walking simulator. To fix this, I added story to my game. In Exit 8, you are trying to leave the station by going to Exit 8. I know, I'm a genius, like no one could have guessed that. But I wanted to flip this concept. See, in my game, you're an avid movie lover, going to see the new Madame Web film. Which really is the true horror if you think about it, because that movie is a crime to watch. The entrance to the film is on level 10. However, the only thing standing between you and Dakota Johnson is the anomalies. But don't ask why they're there, or where they came from, because, I don't know, it's a mystery. And I was told mystery is crucial for horror games, so it's part of the lore now, so the game's the game. I started implementing the story by adding the ending, which was just the doors leading to the entrance to the movie, with a nice white glow to hide the horrendous movie. Next, I started to add the anomalies, but I won't show them here. You're just going to have to play the game to see them for yourself. But I will tell you there are around about 20 different anomalies, some more obvious than others. This allows the game to not feel repetitive, as you would get a different combination of anomalies for the first couple of times playing. And because the game is called Exit 8, I named my game Entrance 10. Very original, I don't want to hear any complaints. And that wraps up day 4. Now we are on the final day, day 5. The game was pretty much complete. However, I did notice that if you downloaded the game with no prior knowledge, you would have no idea what was going on. To fix this, I added a simple yet cryptic message at the beginning for the player so that they would understand what to do. I also added the ending credits for when you exit the hallway. This is dedicated to the amazing team who worked on the game. I spent the rest of the day polishing the game, like adding reverb to all the sounds, which made the game feel more empty than it already was. I also added some creepy ambience, as the game seemed quite quiet when you weren't moving. I finally added the level number system to show what level you were currently on and how far you had left to complete the game. After all of that, the game was finished, and I'm very pleased at how it turned out. The game is on GameJolt with the link in the description. There will also be another link for the phenomenal game this is heavily inspired by. If you liked the video, please consider liking it and maybe even subscribing. And with all that said, thanks for watching.